What's going on, guys? Rich Rice here, and I want to share with you today what I am doing with OpenClaw. It is for real estate. So you've probably been seeing a lot of people talking about it and a lot of software developers and stuff like that talking about it, but I'm using it for my real estate business and it is absolutely insane. It is crazy. I have so many use cases that I've already used it for. I've only been launched a week and a half ago. I'm on my second week and the things that it has done already have been absolutely insane. So I didn't have a plan for this video. I just wanted to talk about it because it's so freaking cool. And I'm so excited about what it can do and what it's already done and kind of what I already have planned. So this video is really raw. I didn't even set up my green screen. I didn't even set up, I barely even loaded in the recording software to do this. There's probably spaghetti sauce on my shirt from my kid from lunch earlier. Like I said, I feel like I need to get this out of me before I'm going to explode because I'm that excited about it. So I'm not going to really dive into what OpenClaw is. There's 1,000 other videos for how to do that or whatever, but I'm just going to go into how I use it for real estate. So first and foremost, I feel like this is augmenting me. I'm just trying to make things easier on myself. And I'm not even joking. In the last 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks that I've been using this, there's things and projects and stuff that I've done with this thing that I've wanted to do for years that it literally did in 30 seconds. I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, it took me maybe 30 minutes to set some of the skills up, but then it actually did. I wanted it to do in less time than you've been watching this video already. It's insane. So I have it doing all kinds of stuff. I'm just going to kind of read through a list that I had it make. I didn't even make this list myself. This is just, I just asked it purely I'm going to make a YouTube video. What have we done for the last 2 weeks? So I've updated my CRM and deal pipeline. I'm going to go through some of these a little bit more. I've got it doing triaging and going through all of my emails, all 4 different Gmail accounts that I have, including everything that's linked to those Gmails. So my calendar, my tasks. I have it working on building automated content and email marketing to my real estate club. That has always been a huge thorn in my side for trying to get weekly emails out of what's going on in the club and what's coming up next and all of that stuff, and starting to automate that process. How I'm working through some of the knowledge and memory issues that is inherent in OpenClaw and getting it to recall things and do it properly. And then also building a knowledge base of stuff that I'm feeding it, either stuff that I've written in the past or stuff that I have from other people that I want to use in my decision making as far as looking at deals and stuff like that. And then it also learns my preferences in real time. So Google Workspace, how I'm dealing with some of the infrastructure and security. I do have it on my own Mac Mini that's sitting right here on my desk. I decided to silo it off that way, and it has its own Gmail account to do all the things that it needs to do. So I have it all siloed off of that. It doesn't get access to any of my direct access, through a password or anything, to any of my stuff other than its own email. And then everything else is done through the API with nightly security checks and stuff like that. So it is connected fully to my Slack. You'll see a lot of videos, people talking about Telegram and WhatsApp and Discord. I've been a huge power user of Slack for years. I've literally had my entire business in Slack, and it's been that way for at least 5 years. And if you work for me, you probably know, or you've done a project with me, I'm super militant about Slack. I don't text anything. It's all goes in Slack. If you text me, I tell you to put it in Slack. So being that hard on Slack over the years has definitely paid off, because now OpenClaw has a full access to my Slack and can look at everything that everybody's been doing for 5 years plus and do that. So social content and tools, I've got it connected to Trello. For Trello, I'm working on connecting it to Opus to do some of that stuff, and connected to X. And I've been trying to connect it to Facebook. I'm running into a little bit of a roadblock there because I use my personal Facebook instead of a professional Facebook. So even though I have professional on my Facebook, but Facebook isn't letting you see as much anyways. And then as far as my agents, I have 10 at the moment. So I'm going to go into some of that a little bit more. And then the 2 things that I have that are really 3 actually. So one, I have I have it shadowing my accountant, my bookkeeper at the moment, and learning from everything that they do so that eventually they can augment them. And then I also have it shadowing my virtual assistant and following their tasks and what it can do to help out. So, and then I also, the cool thing for real estate investing, on the real estate investing side, I have it crawling Zillow looking for leads, and then it goes through a whole workflow that. So yeah, so that's kind of the intro. I'm going to jump in here a little bit on, so like this, talk about that a little bit more, the deal pipeline. So I have multiple agents. Well, I guess I'll talk about my agents first. So I have multiple agents and I have a lot of windows open here, and I'm going to go find the board. But anyways, I'll just look at Slack. So each agent has its own channel in Slack. I have my main one. His name's Gyro, named after the DuckTales. For those of you DuckTales fans out there, named after the inventor on DuckTales. So he's my like commander. He's my chief of staff. Basically, he tells and runs all the other sub agents and tells them what to do. I pretty much just talk to him only, and then the other agents spin up what they need to do. So I have Angela, who's my deal finding bot, named after my mom actually, who's a real estate agent. So, and then I have Goliath, who is my ops guy, and Gargoyles fans out there, he's the main man there. So he's my bouncer, my security guy, which I think it was Brooklyn who was the bouncer in Gargoyles. But anyways, it's Goliath. He's my ops guy. He's in charge of making sure everything's straight and working. I got Hermes, who's my comms guy, my comms bot basically, and he's in charge of like all the calendars and email and some of that stuff. And then I have Homer. Homer is my copywriting bot. So Homer, named after the poet or the writer, the Odyssey and all that, not the Simpsons character, but he handles all my copy. I have Neo, who is plugged into my CRM system, so Go High Level, and his job is to basically like read the matrix and manipulate it at will to do what we need to do. I have Scout, who's going through he's in charge of YouTube and social media and all that. He's scouting out potential topics, posts, trending stuff, articles, all that good stuff. And then I have Scribe. Scribe is his job. I got to give him a name. I got to give Scribe and Scout a name, but Scribe he's in charge of the journal. So he's in charge of all the memory and dealing with some of those memory issues and all of that. And then I have Scrooge. Scrooge is in charge of the money bin. He's the CFO, another DuckTales reference there. As you can tell, I like DuckTales a lot as a kid. And then so he's in charge of all of it. He has a QuickBooks online integration, so he can read all the books, do all that, and he's the one that's sitting there shadowing my bookkeeper at the moment and learning from all of that. So he's the CFO basically. And then I have, last but not least, I have Spock, and Spock is the logic guy, and Spock is in charge of analyzing all of the deals that are coming through these pipelines, running the numbers and doing all of that. So, and didn't set this up to be able to share screen at the moment, so I can't show you guys any of this. I'm just kind of talking through it. In a later video, maybe I'll get my tech dialed in here to be able to show you guys some of this stuff more. But so anyways, that's kind of the gist of what I'm got going on at the moment. As far as that, like diving in a little bit more on of things that like I did in minutes of stuff that I've wanted to do for years. So like, again, one of the biggest ones is the CRM. So for Go High Level, I'm not a Go High Level expert. I just know it's very powerful. And so already I knew my tags were a mess in CRM and my Go High. I knew the tags were a problem. And so I plugged this in, plugged plugged Gyro into the CRM system. I built Neo, who's my CRM one. He focused on that. And I just asked it, that reverse prompting. I just literally asked it like, hey, here's my CRM. Like, what can we do? And it told me that the tags were a mess. Let's clean them up. Gave me some suggestions. And I literally, like I said, once I told it to go, it took 30 seconds for it to come back and say, all right, they're all fixed. So now I have tags of members that are tagged properly, the member tiers that are tagged properly. I had a lot of old tags that were just kind of sitting there from days when I was on a different CRM system that just got imported into Go High Level, and they were just stuffing stuff up. So it cleaned all that up almost instantly. The email is crazy. Like having it hooked up to my 4 Gmail accounts is absolutely a game changer. I literally just today, I got this set up last night. It was probably a couple days ago, but like really started going like ham on it last night and gave it access to tasks, my calendar, all of that. And today it just told me that just having like one day of it fully operating and looking through all the emails and then loading everything into tasks, into my Google Tasks as far as like to review and stuff, and already caught stuff that was getting under the radar. I had a house that had a past due utility bill. I never even saw that email. I don't even know where it was, to be honest with you, but it was in there on my tasks and I took care of that. It was like the one property that wasn't on auto pay because I just had a tenant move. So it caught that, which was cool. And then I got an email from my ADU designer like 5 days ago about a new project. Totally missed that email. It told me about that in the tasks. So that was cool. And then what was really awesome, I actually use Earth Class Mail as a digital inbox where it scans all my mail and stuff like that. And found this was it. There was like 15 things in there of like they were charging me storage fees on this like random junk mail that like didn't have my name on it or whatever. And so apparently there was an email telling me this at some point, but again, I missed that email. And it caught that. And I don't even know what they were charging me, probably a few bucks a month that I've been paying for who knows how long. And so went in and deleted all those, shredded all those. And so those are gone. So that was just today, like 3 things that I was like, awesome. And that I was spending money on. So like literally like saved me money already. Like I said, so the Slack integration's been absolutely crazy. It's connected. I have 2 Slacks actually, one for the fire center, my real estate club, and then one for all my real estate houses and flipping and rentals and all that. It's connected to both. It could cross analyze all of them. It knows where to put it. And only I can talk to it. For security wise, only I can talk to it at the moment. My team can't talk to it at all. Some of the ways they can see it posting, but they can't talk to it in any way at the moment. So, and then, yeah, I mean, that's like the gist of what I've got going right now as far as like the deal analyzer workflow. So I've got it set up right now where it crawls Zillow, and I have a list of 250 keywords that it searches for. And I actually built this as a custom GPT for my club for the fire center about a month ago. And then I wanted to take it to the next level. So if you want that custom GPT, you can come become a member of the fire center. But so that one was basically like it would build a search string for you to search a specific zip code for these 250 terms all at once. So I wanted to take that to the next level and have it do this automatically, right? So I set that up, and so it runs at like 3 a.m. in the morning and finds leads, and then it basically downloads them to its brain, runs all the numbers on it. So Angela's out there, sub-agent Angela is out there finding the deals. Then once it finds it, it gives it to Spock, who sits there and analyzes it. And he gives me the cash option and then 3 creative options, whether that's subject to or a wrap or whatever, runs all those numbers and then pushes that to, I forget which one from there, either Neo or Scribe, and pushes that into Go High Level as an opportunity card in Go High Level with all of that information. And it even pulls the listing agent's name, phone number, and their email. And it's actually, it's not supposed to just pull random stuff. It does a pretty good job. Like one of the agents had found on Instagram and found her actual email on Instagram and put that in there instead of just like the generic info at whatever her broker was. .com. So that's really cool. So it pushes it into Go High Level. And then from there, we have a workflow in Go High Level as far as like it goes to a human at that point to review it. And I got some plans to like what it's going to do from. And then I'm trying to review these notes here. It's just, I mean, I've got like threads in Slack of like 200 replies of me talking to this thing. And that's the thing is like this is nothing. Like, I mean, I am doing like no coding. There was a little tiny bit of like where I had to look at the code as far as getting it set up. That I'm not a programmer. I don't have a coding background. I wrote my like a website in HTML when I was in 4th grade, and that was it. Okay, and well, that wasn't it, I guess. That was the first time I ever did HTML. But I've dabbled in websites and stuff like that over the years, and so I can read some of this code. I understand like kind of how code works, like at the basic level, but I'm not a coder. Okay, I'm not at all. So, but this has all been done literally just by, I guess they're calling it vibe coding now, where you just talk to this thing and tell it what you want. Sometimes very nicely. Sometimes I get a little frustrated, but you just tell it, you just kind of walk through and it does all this for you. So this is crazy. I've been watching podcasts on this stuff and then doing a lot of things as far as building it out. And there's so much that can be done. I mean, the ideas are like through the roof here at the moment, but I'll make another video about that as I do stuff with this. So, anyways, I know the channel's been a little quiet here as far as just posting shorts and stuff. I'd like to get to some more long form content here, especially around AI. I mean, I'm doing a lot with this stuff, and I don't think there's a lot of people out there talking about real estate as far as AI goes. But this is like, I'm a small operator. I just buy and manage rental houses, but I'm trying to basically take all these ideas I've had over the years and into this AI system. So, anyways, that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. And also, if I shut down my podcast last year or at the beginning of this year, whatever. But I'd really like to get on more podcasts of other people's and talk about this stuff. So if there's anyone out there you think I should be on, tag them, let them know, or shoot me their information and I'll reach out. So that's it. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.